RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's happening? No, the show's not a day early. It is the weekday, a day late. So, weekday show. I try to do a show during the week. I wasn't able to do one yesterday. I had to take this Mac to the Apple store, and it was kind of an ordeal. So, and it was goddamn hot out there. I rode my bike out there. I was exhausted, and there are no answers to why this computer keeps bugging out. They ran all kinds of tests on it. They said it was fine. It's still not fine. They suggested that I get a new monitor. So that's what I have to do, a new monitor. They think something's wrong. I mean, who knows? This is what they're saying. It's a pain in the ass. The whole thing sucks. So, all right, well, whatever. If you can become a patron, that'll help. Go towards the new monitor at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And what else? Oh, yeah, keep the show going and growing. I also want to thank Charlie again for your generous contribution to our Tarabuster's latest edition, the little baby Boudica, our grip at large. She's sleeping over there on the wires right now. So I should have set up the cat cam. Maybe I can do it clandestinely while we're talking, because it would be cute for you to be able to see Boudica right now sleeping. So yeah, all right, yeah. So it's a day early. Hopefully not $1 short. Thanks to Jim for your super chat. Right out of the gate. Thank you so much, as always. You make me feel like not only a natural woman, but also not a complete loser. So thank you. Thanks for hanging out and for your support. Morally, spiritually, financially, practically. You know, this is the practical support we need. All right, let's see. There's Booty. Let me see. Can you see her? It's a little dark down there. Let me see if I can put the light on my my phone. There she is. Sleeping amongst the wires at like a good grip. Right? She likes the wires. I don't know what it is. She can't even keep her eyes open. Oh, maybe it's the light shining in them. But there you go. Thank you for hanging out. That's her little booty. She's getting big. She's adorable. No, her eyes are still shut. It's not the light. She just can't keep her eyes open. She's a baby. Sometimes, you know how babies are when they get tired. They're just like, I'm awake. They feel like they're going to miss something, but they just can't help it. All right, so let's get to work here. We will have a show tomorrow, too, so, you know. This is our kind of loosey-goosey weekday show. The weekday shows, for me, are less stressful in a way because we don't really have to worry about the time cues or the clock, so to speak. So, you know, I don't think I'm going to do a 3-hour show, but I might do, we have the freedom. We'll probably do a 2-hour show, but I'm going to try to keep it to 2 hours because I think in general, you know, not many people listen after 2 hours. I know you guys do because we're all hanging out here, but in the long run, with the podcast and everything and the video, I don't know, do people, well, they've done studies, you know, they don't, the shorter the better. This is what they're saying. I don't know who they are, but I have to listen to them. All right. So, yeah, I'm sure you heard that Trump is indicted again. Is he not indicted? They're adding charges onto his laundry list of charges because, you know, he's a criminal. And good. So I'm not really going to talk about that tonight since everybody else is going to talk about it probably with more, I don't know, understanding because I'm watching it as you are. as it goes along. He faces major new charges in the documents case. Will they lock this son of a bitch up already? That's all I want to know, is when is he going to be locked up? When and hey, you gonna have a meltdown, maggots? You want a civil war? I know they're always threatening civil war and then projecting it onto normal people, Democrats, progressives, liberals, non-Republicans. I always say we're the ones who want a civil war. We just want to live our lives in a functioning democracy that works for more than just straight acting white con men. That's it. We want to have a functioning multiracial democratic republic that works for all. You know, sort of like promoting the general welfare over the welfare of an orange turd / con man who received fewer votes both times and will receive fewer votes again. Someone who hates this country so much that he would rather it be torn apart than respect the peaceful transfer of power. And we do live in interesting times. They are really confusing, a bunch of morons, but the more every day that goes by, more will be revealed, and they're full of they're just liars, okay? And we're going to start off with, and of course they call us liars. They call the truth a lie. In fact, I saw it today. Trump said something about don't believe. I mean, this is what he said before. Don't believe the media. Just believe what I tell you. And if that's not right out of the authoritarian playbook, what isn't, right? I mean, these people are fascists. They are destroying democracy from the inside, and this is the only way it's going to be destroyed. We've been warned from the inception of the country. The country's not going to be, it's not going to be dragged into authoritarian from without. It will happen from within, and this is what is happening. We're witnessing it. This, the destruction of democracy. Because like I've been saying for years, these right-wingers, Republicans in general, they lack the fundamental ability to function in a free democratic society. They don't like it. They hate democracy, and they especially hate multiracial democracy. They can only tolerate democracy to a point, and that point is when only white men are at the top. That's it. And we see this in our history, the history of Jim Crow, when, this is what's so, it's so touching to me and profound that the promises of democracy are, it's the underdogs of this country that really want and work for a functioning democracy, work towards keeping or bringing a functioning democracy to fruition. African Americans in this country have always, they have believed in the promises of democracy. They've played within the system. They have operated, I should say, within the system of democracy and really challenging the country to live up to its promises. But of course, we've always fallen short because of these filthy fascists, because of conservatives who hate democracy. So they outright, as far as African Americans are concerned, they outright engage in a campaign of terrorism against black people who dare vote. So this has been going on since the inception of the country. The more we move towards a more perfect union, the more we move towards becoming a country that works for all, that's when Republicans freak out. And they would much rather see this country burn to the ground than it live up to its founding principles, as we see. Don't you notice? I mean, I notice. I know you do. I don't know. Here goes my voice again. Yesterday, I rode my bike out there in that sweltering heat to the Apple store, and I was about to pass out. That's what I felt like. Maybe, I don't know. I was exhausted when I got home, and I thought maybe I was going to pass out there. It was very hot. I was drinking a lot of water. But anyway, oh God, what happened here? All right. Somebody was I left a comment on a YouTube video earlier. It's kind of one of my, in regard to one of my pet peeves in life. And as you know, it's the Republicans refusing to say the name of the Democratic Party. But and I was just reading, somebody responded to it. And I thought it was going to be negative, but it was somebody agreeing with me. So. But, yeah, I mean, just an aside, because I was watching this a video about Republicans talking about court packing. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you right here. This is the video from the Young Turks.
The court destroys the court.
Since 2020, we've seen proposals to resurrect the failed, misguided idea of court packing.
There has been considerable debate about the efforts of the radical left and the Democrat Party to pack the United States Supreme Court.
My sense is the court has already been packed.
Okay. So you understand what I'm talking about. You heard Ted Cruz, the Democrat Party. And I watched, of course, I love Sheldon Whitehouse, and I watched the entire response to these filthy fascists who, it's like, we're living in bizarro world. Everything is a projection or a confession from these filthy fascists. And they have already packed the court with these illegitimate flunkies, these loyalists, these filthy, corrupt, so-called justices who have no honor and no integrity. And when Moscow Mitch McConnell invited them to the coup against the court, they accepted wholeheartedly. And I wrote, it's right here. Just an aside, in my opinion, the fact that this Republican Party deliberately mispronounces the name of the Democratic Party just illustrates the fact that they are unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. They are not serious people, and it needs to be pointed out every time they do it. They are infants with nothing to offer America, but they're little divisive baby taunts. Why the Democrats just sit there and take it is beyond infuriating. It's like we're supposed to be cool with the incessant disrespect, and that's really what gets on my nerves. It's not just that they do it, it's that no one ever responds to it, except I think that one time we played the video of Jamie Raskin talking to, correcting Lauren Band from the Bowling Alley Boebert, and that when her response was, "We will call you Democratic Party when you start acting like it." Yeah, what is that? What is starting to act like Democrats, when you act democratic? Would that include a coup against the peaceful transfer of power? Would that be spreading a big lie? I don't know. Would that be, packing the courts? I just hate these people. But the fact that the Democrats allow it to go on without a response, it's like, to me, it feels like learned helplessness. And it shows these filthy fascists that, the Democrats are doormats. They'll just keep allowing these filthy fascists to walk all over them, and they never bring it up. They never bring it up, and it gets out there. And I've actually heard Democrats or people who claim to be Democrats saying saying Democrat Party or Democrat, when it's not appropriate. It's not the right word. And that's because of the Republicans. It needs to be pointed out that this is an example of how not serious, how disingenuous the Republicans are, because they can't even say the name of the party. So the basic level of respect that you can give somebody is to call them by their name. So, and we've played videos of Kevin McCarthy saying how, we're so divided. Why can't we come together with the Democrat Party? And hello, my head wants to explode because we never hear anything from the Democrats, and the corporate media will never push back. So, you know how I feel. My opinion is we have to fight every battle. Every single battle. And what does that say? Really, think about it. You have no self-respect. How many times does somebody get to call you outside your name before you correct them? Right? And they're not calling you, it's not a mistake, of course, but it's not a nice name. They're doing it. It's a Lee Atwater dirty trick. They're emphasizing the rat. That's it. Because this is who they are. And this needs to be pointed out. So the public understands what we are dealing with. And whenever and so when the Republicans engage in that, the public understands how disingenuous, how babyish, how infantile and ridiculous they are, because you have to turn it back on them. That these people, they're just calling names. So cry me a river about how divided we are. Let's start with calling people by their names. Anyway, okay, we know this. I talk about it because it's like I feel like I'm screaming into the wind here. And in fact, today for example, watching that video about the about Republicans packing the court. It's not even part of the conversation that they can't say the name of the party. And I called up Chuck Schumer. Of course, you leave a message, you get like 2 minutes to leave a message. They're like, your time is up because you're not a billionaire. But I left a message, and I was like, how much longer are we going to have to listen to Republicans call us outside our names? It's like it becomes about us then. We have no self-respect. So we're just going to allow these filthy fascists to degrade us every time they talk, right? And and to make a mockery out of whatever they're pretending to, compromise with. Oh, we're here with the business of government. No, you're not. You're putting on a show for your dupes, and in fact, you can't even say the name of the party. So, we'll come back and we'll have a conversation. We'll be able to, do the business of government if you can, at least start there. Because if children behaved like that, they'd be put in timeout. There would be consequences. If you were in kindergarten and you kept mispronouncing your teacher's name or your fellow student's name or kindergartner's name, they put you on a little blankie in the corner. And they say, no, that's not nice. Future Republican. Oh, I'm so sick of it. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Oh, well, there you are calling them Republicans. I'm only saying it because it just points out them. In my opinion, it shows how ridiculous and, they are. Because no one ever points it out. Except me. Is there a reason? It's just like, it drives me crazy. This is why I do a damn show here. Because I feel like I listen to the media, the corporate media, and then I listen to progressive media too. I don't hear other progressives talking about this. Is everybody just like a beaten dog or something? Is everybody cool with being denigrated constantly? If somebody was calling me outside my name and I was like, no, that's not my name. Like they said, like, let's say, my name spelled backwards is a rat, right? Tara, right? So why don't they just call me, hey, a rat. Hey, a rat. How many times are they going to call me that? Until I'm like, excuse me, that's not my name. Or like if they said, Tarat, or something like that, Okay. Oh, funny. It was funny the first 15,000th time. It was tedious, actually. But now it's abusive, and I'm tired of it. So, can you stop being an emotionally stunted toddler, and can we have a conversation like adults? Right? Why do we have a corporate media? Because the Telecommunications Act of 96. Jonathan, keep up. That deregulated media. I'm sure we would have some semblance of a corporate media without it, but it wouldn't be this concentrated media with 6 transnational corporations owning the giant media outlets, and everybody else just nothing. There's no, there really are, it's the rich own they own the bullhorn here in the United States of serfs and lords. So, and that was entirely predicted at the time when Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act. And this is why we are so divided here in this country. And, we're teetering on the verge of fascism. Are we even? Maybe we are there. Not 100%. If Trump gets in again, despite receiving fewer votes, we're done. I'm out of here. And JD, I'm coming over. I don't know where you live, but I'm just going to be landing in England and knocking on doors. So, all right, yeah. So they suck. And what was I going to talk about tonight? I just can't take them. I hate them legally and peacefully. And I felt like I needed to mention Trump hit with fresh charges, in the Florida classified documents case. They suck. We know this. But I want to talk about the how disgusting Republicans are. And it's coming, the bats are really flying from the belfry they just are really letting their freak flags fly. So, for example, the Greg Gutfeld, is that how you say his name? Yeah, Gutfeld. What a name. What a friggin' name. This really pissed me off. And here's another thing that you won't hear on any other media outlet. So for those who don't know, Greg Gutfeld, he's supposed to be the comedy show. He has the supposed comedy show on Fox News. I don't know what's so funny. Here's the thing about conservative humor. It never works because humor is supposed to punch up, not down. And they just seem like dicks, picking on migrants. You're just a dick. Picking on the vulnerable. That's who they are. But anyway, I don't watch that show. I have better things to do, like cut my toenails or something. But he made some waves, caught in the act of being himself. Now, Republicans are all over the country, or wherever they're in the hovels, in the places where people are stupid enough and racist enough to vote for their own demise. Like Florida, for example. They're I mean, some of it is due to the fact that they are, gerrymandering and voter suppressing their way into power, and that's what happened in Florida. Another thing that gets neglected, another pertinent fact that the corporate media fails to mention every time they bring up how Ron DeSantis is such a great winner. He's not. He literally drew the maps of Florida and, unprecedentedly, and it forced it on the legislature, who at first they mustered a shred of self-worth and integrity, and they rejected it. But after a couple of I guess he called them woke a couple of times too many, and the Florida legislature just took Ron DeSantis's map wholly and put it in effect in Florida, which is disgusting. Yes, I know that today. Haiku says Tom Hartman talked about... Oh, he did talk about that? I was thinking of something else for a second when I read your comment. Tom Hartman talked about the Democrat slur? Did he talk about it today? I'm not surprised. He also talked about the thing I'm going to talk about now, but I think he might have read my tweet, actually. That's why but he didn't give me credit. I don't know. I'm not saying that Tom obviously knows more, has probably forgotten more than I know in 10 lifetimes. Who knows? I don't know. But he, so we're talking about Greg Gutfeld, who, okay, let me get my thoughts straight. So they're all jumping on, they think that Florida is, how am I going to say this? They're trying, what DeSantis said, make America Florida, but he's beginning with rewriting history, of course. Well, not beginning. It's just one of the many ingredients in his fascist recipe, his filthy, disgusting cake that nobody wants to eat. But so in Florida, they are, we'll talk about this too. They've changed the curriculum of African American studies, which is, how dare you, really? Because I guess it was too woke before, because it's, Republicans just hate our actual history. They're too fragile, and they are really, they're racist too, so they can't take reality, and I don't know, they kind of hate, I suppose they're afraid that because truth has a liberal bias, that if they teach the real history of America, then they, young people won't be Republican. But guess what? They're not going to be Republican anyway. So, but whatever. And so in this conversation on Fox News, when they were discussing how picked upon Ron DeSantis is, that liberals are blowing it all out of proportion, that in Florida, the new curriculum says that you must teach that slavery had a positive effect on those who were enslaved, because it taught them skills that they were able to use in the market. Right after, really, in between being raped and having your family ripped away and just being not free at all. You should Google I think his name is Robert Thistlewood. I won't. I can't even talk about it here. because it's so disgusting. How he would, this scumbag slave owner, Thistlewood Farm. Oh, Thomas Thistlewood. You know how he would he would punish his enslaved people, and I think he also wrote in his diary he had raped no less than 3,000 enslaved people. So anyway, in the discussion on Fox News, it came up that Greg Gutfeld. All right, well let's just play it and then we'll start from there.
Do you think that she read the whole thing and just decided to cherry pick something?
Yes, because they're upset that the vice president went to Florida and gave a speech saying this is ridiculous. We won't be, we're not going to put up with this revisionist history bullshit. So of course, the filthy fascists on Fox News, who are liars. I love their lower third. Kamala Harris is lying, right? Because everybody lies except the ones who had to pay nearly $1 billion for lying. $1 billion and counting. VP blasted over Florida school curriculum on slavery. Who blasted her? People who are part of the problem? Normal people in the country were cheering her on. Yeah. Normal people are in agreement that teaching the history of the country doesn't mean that you don't like the country. In fact, you can argue, and I do argue, that teaching revisionist history means you hate this country. Teaching accepting the history of our founding, the flawed founding, the original sin of America, racism, and understanding that is part of how we will make a more perfect union. We have to heal this. We have to discuss this, embrace it, accept it. Take a fearless and searching moral inventory. But how can I expect the immoral people we share this country with, unfortunately, to have, to be capable of that? They have no morals. They're looking for loopholes. They're looking for an out. They don't want to see life or the world through anybody else's eyes but their own. And you notice that's what they mean by woke. That's upsetting to them. Of course, woke is a term that originated in the African American community. So, no coincidence there. They're racist. I don't care. If it acts like a race, it doesn't matter if you have darker pigment and you are in support of this. You're a racist too. There were plenty. We've read things. We've done shows about it. There were always people who are in the marginalized community working with the oppressor. Always. And we talked about it on the show. The incidences during Hitler's rise to power of Jews voting for Hitler. Jewish business people saying, oh, well, he'll bring stability to the markets. Oh, all that anti-Semitic stuff, that's just a tactic. It's true. That's how it is. When I look at people who, look at anybody who's Mexican who votes for Trump. I'm sure they're out there. I don't know about you. My heritage is Irish. If Trump came down an escalator calling Irish a bunch of drunks, rapists, blah, 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 whatever, disparaging my ethnicity, I wouldn't vote for the fucking guy. I wouldn't vote for him for a cornucopia of reasons. One, that I have eyes and ears, and I'm not a moron. And I know that he's a con man. You know, I have some self-respect, but it's fascinating to me. Anyway, let's continue. So that's what they're talking about. You know, it just annoyed me, that lower third. Kamala Harris is lying. Yeah, everybody's lying but you, right? Right, wingers? We're all lying. The whole world's lying. Except you. You're the ones. Except for some reason, you keep having to pay. People keep suing you for lying. In fact, you went to court. Fox News itself went to court to win or to validate their lies. And they did. They were told by a court back in the day that they could lie. And of course, you know, we have a First Amendment here. You watch the news, you think you're going to be learning the news. No, but Fox News is fascist propaganda. Okay, let's get...
I do think that she read the whole thing, and I think that it's an incredibly complex piece. When you look at 191 passages, you have some good, and frankly, I'm just fundamentally uncomfortable with the sentence that blacks benefited at all from this. And, it made me think, as someone, obviously I'm not black, but I'm Jewish. Would someone say about the Holocaust, for instance, that there were some benefits for Jews, right? While they were hanging out in concentration camps, you learned a strong work ethic, right? Maybe you learned a new skill.
Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning? Viktor Frankel talks about how you had to survive in a concentration camp by having skills. You had to be useful. Utility kept you alive.
But we're also talking about middle schoolers here. And there's a lot of concern about what age people are prepared to understand complex issues. I'm not sure that 12 is the right age to start hearing things like, and when you were enslaved here in America.
What about gender?
Unbelievable. First of all, okay, this irritated me on so many levels. Let's just play the Gutfeld part again.
Learned a strong work ethic, right? Maybe you learned a new skill.
Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning?
No. I mean, yes, I read it, but you didn't. What do you want to bet? I will bet it all. I'll put it all on. I'll bet my house here, my beautiful one-bedroom apartment, that Gutfeld never read Man's Search for Meaning. He never read it. There's no doubt in my mind. Did you ever read Man's Search for Meaning? This is why I tweeted out that of course he didn't read it, because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Nowhere in Viktor Frankel's Man's Search for Meaning does he say that Jews survived the Holocaust if they were useful. The useful Jews survived. That's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And what it shows me is that this guy, he probably overheard a conversation somewhere along his life, at a cocktail party, at somewhere in a wine cave somewhere, who knows? Or in an elevator, he overheard a conversation, and now he's throwing around a name, an author, and a title because he thinks it gives him some kind of cred, and he thinks it makes him seem less racist and less bigoted than he and his ilk actually are. He never read Man's Search for Meaning, because in Man's Search for Meaning, which a book that I read, not that I'm a scholar on it, but I know more than he does, because he's completely missed the point. Viktor Frankl doesn't say the useful Jews survived the Holocaust, which is so offensive in general. Offensive is not just for Jews, it's for humanity, right? For everybody. Oh, so you have to be useful to survive? And that's the paradigm I guess, the Fox News fascists and fascism in general want us all to adopt. You need to be useful somehow. Well, being alive is useful enough. And we are, as human beings, see, this is something that Republicans and obviously don't get. Human beings caring for other human beings, this is a trait that goes back millions of years, before we were Homo sapiens. The first evidence of a human, our human ancestor, I think it was Homo erectus, is the first ancestor that we are aware of. Then you're talking 1 million years ago, who took care of the sick, that took care of the aged. There's we understand this through archaeology and anthropology. So people, not people. I guess they were people at the time, but our not so humanoid ancestors taking care of each other when they were sick or old. So, but you're not useful. But that's not what happened in the concentration camps. If you were too young, too old, nobody asked you what your skill was when you showed up at Auschwitz. That's even beside the point, though. In Viktor Frankel's Man's Search for Meaning, this is why I know this dumb bastard didn't read the book. Frankl talks about in the book, he ends up in a concentration camp. It's it's his life story, and the Nazis took his manuscript. He was working on his life's work. He's a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and they take his manuscript from him, and they destroy it. And what kept him going in the concentration camp, what made him, not want to give up, was that he had vowed to himself that he was going to survive so he can rewrite this manuscript. And he had, what kept him alive in the concentration camp was committing this to his memory and just rewriting it in his head, and making sure that he wouldn't forget as much of the brutality that he endured. And when he got out of the concentration camp, his entire family had been annihilated by the Nazis. And like I said, nowhere in Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning does he bring up or say or even suggest that he survived by being useful. It's so goddamn offensive. But what he's talking about, so he came up with a therapeutic approach to depression called logotherapy. And it is based on the belief that finding meaning in life is the primary driving force for individuals. And this meaning can be discovered in the most difficult of circumstances, even a concentration camp for Viktor Frankl. And so he didn't suggest that being useful was the factor for survival, but rather having a purpose. And it doesn't mean, so, do you see what I'm saying? So it's more an inner journey, whereas this filthy fascist Gutfeld, who never read the book, is ascribing a judgment onto somebody else. So this meaning that it's a personal journey, in an inward journey that nobody can take from you. Whereas Gutfeld, because he is an incipient fascist, is saying that, and basically it's his opinion on who qualifies as useful, just like the Nazis. Oh, you're useful. So you get to live. And it's such an offense. And the other thing is that I didn't hear a single person in the corporate media or any other media outlet who discussed this even discuss the fact that, except for Tom Hartman, I have to say, that it's clear that this Gutfeld asshole never read the book. And to clarify that, it's the offense of Gutfeld saying that Viktor Frankel said that people survive by being useful, that just saying that is offensive in itself, and it also speaks to the fact that he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. So I have to tell you, this is how the Republicans in general, this is how bullshit spreads, right? The lies spread. So now, how many right-wingers out there think that Viktor Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that people survive by being useful? How many, right? And how many will quote it and bring it up the same way that this Gutfeld did? Which it won't surprise me, but it's clear. No one ever asked him, what are you talking about? We'll explain. And one of the things that irritates me about corporate media, besides everything else, of course, is that no one ever pushes back. They never add or ask that follow-up. What do you mean? Give me an example. What are you talking about? Ask Gutfeld what logotherapy is. I'm sure he'll be confused. He just wanted to sound like he had some kind of clout and legitimacy by throwing around a name of someone who he never read, an author of a book he never read. So Frankl emphasizes the importance of finding meaning and purpose in life, not being useful, being useful so that some filthy fascist is going to deem you worthy of life. It's incredible. So, it's about finding an inner strength and psychological strength that has nothing to do with outside influences. Incredible, though. And this is what he tried to do after his life post concentration camp, post war, post Holocaust, where his entire family had been killed. His whole family. He tried to help other people with by sharing this experience of finding meaning, and trying to help guide them find meaning in their own lives. So yeah, Man's Search for Meaning. Shut the F up, Gutfeld. Really, because I wish they would, first of all, read, and but leave it to a Republican to take a book that talks about inner strength and finding purpose in your own life, but turning it into a diatribe about judgment, others judging you worthy of life by what you are useful, how you're useful to other people. That's what he's talking about. The party of rugged individuals. That's what he's talking about. Someone else. You got to be useful to someone else's whatever purpose they have. Never mind your own purpose or finding meaning in your own life, regardless. Some people are sick. Some people, they're disabled. They can't, they're not useful. in the way that Greg Gutfeld, I guess, would think deems them worthy of existence somehow. But I just love the way he sits there, you know. You ever read Man's Search for Meaning? You know, leaning back in his chair.
Be useful. Utility kept you
But we're
alive.
also
Utility kept you alive. So everybody, all the 6 million dead had no utility, which is just ludicrous and offensive. But, you know, here's what Republicans, this is who they are. I guess, you know, when the Nazis, if you were too young, you know, here in America, Republicans are putting kids to work, right? So they're useful. Forget this whole 20th century notion of childhood. They got to be useful. Otherwise, you're not worthy. You see? Ugh, God. It's absolutely offensive, but not unexpected. And the fact that they're so, you know, they just allow, not only are they so, they're so, what is the word? They're just so staunch. And it's the arrogance of ignorance that really gets on my nerves. But that's also because no one challenges them. Of course, he was challenged for his stupid statement, but he wasn't challenged on the fact that, you know, it's clear he's absolutely wrong and misguided. And of course, he's spreading yet again more misinformation. But this is who these people are. You want to? I guess if you can go into the halls of Fox News and ask any of these of their mouthpieces what books they read, please, we'd you know, we wouldn't be surprised to learn that would be nothing. That would be a big whopping Zippo. Because they're incurious, you see. Being incurious is also a conservative birthright. It is the new American dream for them. Being incurious, never changing, never learning, never seeing life through anybody else's eyes, never reading about an experience that might be challenging, right? Yeah, never read it. I mean, I remember I read The Bluest Eye. That book is banned now. In how many states? Let's see. But hey, you know, I'm a white lady. Why should I read The Bluest Eye? Well, maybe because, you know, there's more to the human experience, and we want to. It's part of being a human, is looking at life through the eyes of others. And this is how we learn and grow. And I don't know, it seems like, why would you want to sell yourself short? But Republicans want to sell us all short. Let's see, that's Toni Morrison's book. Let's see, how many banned? It's just unbelievable that book is banned. Oh, because it has sexual references. This is what they're saying. It's so sick. These people are so sick. Incredible. I just looked up Bluest Eye, Toni Morrison banned, and these questions are coming up. Is The Bluest Eye appropriate? Incredible. Why is The Bluest Eye controversial? Because it depicts child sexual abuse and was considered sexually explicit. Oh, because, you know, Republicans, I guess they'll get triggered by I don't know, shit that actually happens in the world. That's why they can only, well, I guess this is why they share NFT cards of Trump dressed like an astronaut, or I mean, the images that they show of Trump where he's fit and standing on a tank with a big giant gun, right? Come on. There's nothing more fictitious than that. In fact, we know for a fact that's what Stormy told us. But it's so, I mean, we should feel sorry for them if they weren't such dangerous bastards trying to destroy America. I do kind of feel sorry for them, the smallness of their lives. But did they ban Mein Kampf? I don't know. Probably not. Does it have sex in it? Probably. They're very triggered by books that have sex in it because we're not supposed to be human, you know. And we shouldn't, especially, I mean, any form of sex. Except, actually, did you see this? Nancy Mace. Now, here's the thing. You know, they have that. I can't stand Nancy Mace. You know why? Hey! Stop that. Cats are fighting. Junior is yelling at little booty. Nancy Mace pretends to be a moderate, and the corporate media plays along. It really gets on my nerves. She's not a moderate. She's a radical like the rest of them. Hi, booty. Come here, boo-boo. Oh, she was just climbing up, and she ran away. But she was at this prayer friggin' breakfast, and she makes a joke about how she skipped sex or something in the morning, that her fiance wanted sex. All right, relax, everybody. Oh, shit. It's going off the rails. I might have to put Booty in the bedroom. We'll see how it goes. Everybody's getting upset. You guys, chill out. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Nancy. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I know. I mean, it is a weekday show. I just went on Twitter. Look at this.
And tune in because this is a blockbuster show. This one is personal for me. It is about the infamous dog mauling case, the special agent in charge over the Department of Corrections, the Aryan Brotherhood.
This is Kimberly
Mexican
Gurgle
Mafia,
for everybody.
Family, and so many more of the notorious prison gangs actually running business and operations in this country, controlling what goes on in the streets.
Look at those
we take
boobs.
a deep dive on this. You don't want to miss it. Tune in tune in because this is a blockbuster show. This one is personal for me. It is about
Ron Flipkowski writes, Kim's show tonight is about prison gangs, something weighing heavily on the mind of her maybe someday father-in-law. Anyway, not to distract us. Let's see. Nancy Mace sex. Here it is.
Another year on this together. Another year, another standing room only event. And when I woke up this morning at 7, I was getting picked up at 7:45. Patrick, my fiance, tried to pull me by my waist over this morning in bed, and I was like, no, baby, we don't got time for that this morning. I gotta get to the prayer breakfast, and I gotta be on time, and a little TMI, but he can wait. I'll see him later tonight. I was here early on this together.
Guess what? They're not married. They're not married. And there she is at the prayer breakfast saying, my fiance wanted to bang me, but I said, I got to go to the prayer breakfast with these evangelicals. Yes, there you go. Family values. Family values for thee, not for me. Don't you get it? That's the Republican way. And now imagine if this were somebody, let's say George Santos, you know, because he's the gay. Before he'll be in prison soon. But if he was there saying that his fake husband that doesn't exist wanted to bang him like a broken screen door this morning. Ha ha ha. I said, ha ha ha. No, honey, I have to go to the prayer breakfast. That's another thing. Yes. No, it's not funny, Nancy. It's not funny. It's just not funny. You're not funny. But that goes to show you. You see how Republicans, they understand that it's rules for thee, not for me. And if this were a Democrat, if the shoe was on the other foot and a Democrat had made that joke at a prayer breakfast, they'd be faux raged from morning, noon, and night. We'd be hearing about it on Fox 5. They'd be complaining about how Democrats have no family values or they have no standards, right? But they know their audience. So Nancy Mace, she understands that she could just say whatever the hell she wants to say. They're all full of shit. Morals for thee. See, I don't give a crap. I don't care. She's having premarital sex. But these are the same people that are always, they're so worried about us reading books or just people reading books that have some sex in it or anything, that if it's not the sex between, a female and a male, and that it's just not. Jesus is crying somehow. Jesus doesn't want to hear about it. It's incredible. All right. Here's another thing. So speaking of how disgusting Republicans are. Hi, Bootyka. She's such a little cutie. Booty, come here. Booty, where are you? Come back, Booty. She's gotten crazy. She's running around. Booty, boo, boo, boo. She was just tapping on my leg. That's why. Booty, hey, Booty. She's not even listening. She's not even responding to my name. I mean, her name. My name is Tara. Her name is Booty. Come on. All right. So, where was I before Boudica interrupted? Oh yeah. We're gonna talk about Ron DeSantis and the slavery, him teaching or wanting to teach slavery as a net positive. But according to just a little bit more on Gutfeld, they're saying that the people at Fox News they're upset. The people that work there, the poor saps that work there. I feel bad for them, but whatever. If you're a normal person and you work at Fox News, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I would just get your resume together. How can I don't know. It's a good economy, thanks to Joe Biden's policies. You move, go. There's many networks here in New York. ABC, CBS. There's cable networks. Get the F out of Fox News. I don't know. Anyway, so Fox insiders, this is according to Daily Beast and others, they say that Fox News, where is it? Fox News staffers and insiders told the Daily Beast that it was disgusting for the network's resident comedian to say that, the Jews had to be useful to survive the concentration camps. Of course, oh yeah, and I forgot to say that this prompted the Auschwitz Museum to rebuke his comments as an oversimplification of the Holocaust. I mean, it's so offensive on so many levels, but it is what's another part to the offense is just how ignorant he is and that an ignorant person like that has a platform that reaches millions. That's the offense, really. I mean, a lot of ignorant people in the world, you just don't give them, a show. Right? I just heard right-wingers saying, well, what about you? I'm not ignorant. I guess if I was, see, that's the thing. If I were an ignorant cuss, I'd be on, Hannity would put me right on there. I'd be a gay and a Republican, and that's what they like. They like when minorities are acting as human shields for their bigotries. So, I may not be like, a beauty queen, but I would suffice to, I mean, this is what they do. They put these right-wingers, that's how Diamond and Silk became so well known. They started putting them on Fox News. This is what the right does. It's infuriating. So, of course, the White House condemned Gutfeld. Ugh, what a name. The name of his show is Gutfeld with an exclamation point. It should be an explanation point, but we don't have those. We should make one up, though. The Anti-Defamation League said it was unclear if he was spewing nonsense or arguing a well-documented point. What? Jewish group deeply disturbed by Fox News' puppet master. Oh, that's a different story. In recent days, several... Where is it? Hold on. Stupid ad just popped up and made my web browser move. I lost my place. In recent days, several Fox News personalities, including Gutfeld's new primetime colleague Jesse Waters. See, in order to be someone who's on the fast track to success at Fox News, you gotta be a filthy racist. And every time I see Jesse Waters, I think about that offensive and horrific segment. Remember that he did when he went down to Chinatown here in New York, and he did everything, but I mean, he just did it. He did every cliche Asian thing you can think of, all with the music, like ding 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 ding, and speaking with elderly Asians that had a limited grasp of English, making them look like fools. I mean, what a jerk. So now, naturally, he's the one who replaced Tucker Carlson. You gotta. It's like a lateral move for fascists. It's like a fascist for a fascist. An ignorant fascist for an ignorant fascist. So Jesse Waters have rushed to defend Florida's new and controversial education curriculum, which teaches children that slavery helped black people develop skills. I guess it taught them, things they didn't know. Like, washing themselves and the dignity of work. And this is the same old, it's just a revamp of the old racist trope that slave owners used to perpetrate. Boudica. What the hell? Personal benefit. Okay. Widespread criticism over anti-woke lesson plans. Meanwhile, Florida governor, presidential candidate Ron DeSantis doubled down while suggesting slavery was beneficial for some slaves. What a piece of dirt these people are. I can't even believe where I live sometimes. Right? Incredible. So, where was I? apparently, where is it? They're upset. This fucking imbecile, Greg Gutfeld, is beyond absurd. These are some of the statements that a Daily Beast reporter received. Oh, it's raining out. That's what that goddamn noise is. It's not just raining, it's pouring. And the old man is snoring, I think. Gutfeld's comments have not been well received by some at the conservative cable giant, which has long dealt with inflammatory rhetoric from its hosts. Wow. Sounds like hail. That's why Booty is flipping out. Booty, what are you doing? She's going nuts, running around. So they say that obviously is disgusting thing to say. Same with Jesse's remarks on the matter, said one Fox News producer. Generally speaking, I'm amazed that Fox has any ability to retain employees from multicultural backgrounds. Our workplace is shockingly diverse given the vitriol that often makes it to the air. I don't know. I really don't know about... I mean, I don't know. I don't work there. But I don't know. How desperate do you have to be, I guess? I have no idea. Understand that they're likely here for the same reasons I am. These jobs are scarce, but I can't help but feel awful for them because they undoubtedly see this nonsense and can't do anything to stop it. It's got to be horrible if you're somebody with darker pigment and you work there and you have to put up with this shit. Unless you're somebody like, Uncle Byron Donalds or Uncle Tim Scott, who I was waiting, really, for Uncle Byron and Uncle Tim to release statements about this curriculum. But apparently, Uncle Byron, he was critical of it. So, whatever. Still waiting for Uncle Tim to say something about it, but that must have been really tough for him to go out on a limb and push back. But one of the people who concocted this bullshit curriculum is somebody with darker pigment, and of course, absolutely, of course. In fact, this person, Dr. Mengel? No, I don't know. What is Dr. somebody? His name is Dr. Allen. He was on Megyn Kelly. And, Megyn Kelly has a podcast or something. And she had this doctor person on saying, because they're all upset. They're all like, oh, Kamala Harris is lying about us.
Extremists pass book bans to prevent them from learning our true history. They push forward revisionist history. They decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it. They want to replace history with lies. They dare to push propaganda to our children. This is the United States of America. We're not supposed to do that. Let us not be distracted by what they're trying to do, which is to create unnecessary debates to divide our country.
That's it. Well, here's Ron DeSantis defending.
At the end of the day, you got to choose. Are you going to side with Kamala Harris and liberal?
Here's another one who, this hung dog. I don't know what's up with his head. At the end of the day.
Media outlets, are you going to side with the state of Florida?
You see, it's all about the person. Because when you have nothing to stand on, you, of course, attack the messenger. He's not attacking what she's saying. He's saying, "Oh, what are you going to do at the end of the day? Are you going to stand with Kamala Harris?" Yeah, you will, if you have any shred of intelligence. Are you gonna stand with Florida? He says, and what does that mean? Because here in Florida, we're a bunch of ignorant dullards who want to push this bullshit. Because we're such fragile little snowflakes who can't handle reality. We can't handle, much less can't handle decency, can't handle teaching reality. Because we're little snowflakes who melt.
And I think it's very clear that these guys did a good job on those standards. It wasn't anything that was politically motivated.
No,
these are serious.
You would never do that, right, Ron? Right, you filthy goddamn fascist? Oh, God, they keep talking on the corporate media about Ron DeSantis's campaign, how he fired another 40% of his staff, and what are they going to do? And here's the problem. He sucks. Fire your staff all day long. It's not the staff, Ron, it's you. You're not a good person. Nobody likes you. And nobody wants your filthy fascism, much less the people of your state. He won by a squeaker the first time, unfortunately. I don't know really, what is wrong with you people who vote for these right-wingers? Shame on you. Shame on you. I'm tired of them. They should be ashamed of themselves. Unfortunately, you drag the rest of us with you. The decent people have to deal with your bullshit. So, and then he won the second time. It was a blowout because he drew the damn maps. Booty. Wait. She's pulling on my headset. Booty. No, Booty, no. Come here, you. Give me this. Give me this booty right here. Oh, hold on. I know. Hold on, Booty. Hold on, Booty. She doesn't like that. I know, Booty. I'm sorry. I just got to show you to everybody because you're cute. Oh, you got to be free. Be free, Booty. Be free. Booty is running free. Born free. As free as Booty is. All right.
You've seen Dr. Allen out on TV talking about the stories, talking about his own family history and everything like that. So don't side with Kamala on that. Stand up for your state.
Stand up for your state. Because it's always about us against them in this e pluribus unum United States. It's always stand up for your state by buying bullshit. I know, she is getting so big. Pookies. Where is she? Get over here. Born Booty. I know, Booty. Ow, Booty. She's such a good girl, though. Come on, I'm sorry. As Booty as Booty. All right, get out of here. She's so cute, and then she cries. I'm sorry, I'm probably annoying everybody. My stupid songs and my love of Boudica. Booty! Oh my God. The grip is at it. Oh, I missed. We'll have to catch her next time. I wanted to show you what she was doing. It was very cute. So, yes, don't side with Kamala. If that's... How do you pronounce her name? Kamala, right? Kamala. Kamala. That's how you pronounce it. Now it's coming back to me. Kamala. But they pronounce Kamala. They like to pronounce things wrong on purpose because it's, especially if it makes somebody sound foreign and different. Because, Republicans can't handle diversity. They hate the nation of immigrants. They hate e pluribus unum. So, what does he have to say? That's his argument. Don't side with Kamala. Side with your state, as we push this incredibly offensive piece of revisionist history down your throats. Great. You know how Republicans are always talking about how things are being shoved down their throats? Nobody likes shoving things down your throats more than Republicans. And I wanted to show you, where is it? Megyn Kelly had this so-called doctor on her show to debunk what the vice president's criticisms of this curriculum. Of course, like I said, this Dr. Allen clown is a person with darker pigment. Of course he would be, because that's how Republicans roll. They use people with darker pigment as human shields for their bigotry. When they come out with a bill banning gay marriage, trust me, it will be George Santos. If he's not in jail, hopefully he'll be in prison by the time. It'll be someone gay, or somebody who, if they can't rustle up a gay, they'll have somebody who has a gay son who's married, or a gay daughter, and they'll say, well, I have a gay daughter and I'm still pushing this bill that bans gay marriage because of freedom. You see? Freedom to discriminate is freedom. Freedom to hate. If your sky spook says you must hate and you can't hate, how can you be free? So Megyn Kelly had this so-called doctor on, and they were going to this is how they debunked Kamala, the vice president.
How do you respond to the charge you want to replace history with lies?
Well, let me first make an observation that helps us think through this. We know the vice president well, and we know that when she speaks spontaneously, she has an unavoidable cackle. But when she's speaking from a script, she's very grave and very serious.
Wow.
So we know she's following a script here. And the script is that she has to reject what is common sense.
Wow. Well, that settles it. You see? I see now. The vice president has a cackle. Okay. That makes sense. That is a scintillating retort. That is not unexpected from right-wingers, of course, because what else do they have? If you're going to try to retort obvious and disgustingly clear racism, what else are you going to fall back on? The old standby of misogyny and cackle. All women have a cackle to Republicans. And, when you're criticizing something, a woman comes out and criticizes, that's a goddamn cackle. So, see, I rest my case. She's got a cackle, and, case closed. I see, and look at Megyn laughing. Yes, it was the same thing with Hillary. Didn't they use the cackle against Hillary? Of course they did. Because that's all they have. So, teaching that slavery was a net benefit for those who were enslaved because they learned useful skills, that's, not offensive, because look who's calling it offensive. We have this woman over here who's just fucking cackling at us. And I can't expect anything less from Republicans. I mean, that must work. It does work over at Fascist Fox News or the Megyn Kelly Cackle podcast. But, you know, it doesn't really hold up as an actual argument. If you had anything useful to say, if you really had an argument. If you had an argument, why would you bring up how she sounds? First of all, she doesn't have a cackle. Neither does Hillary. But it's just that they are they're misogynist, and well, of course, they're racist. But Megyn Kelly, that her job is to sit there and laugh. You know, at someone who clearly has issues, who is being used as a human shield as much as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is being used by these pricks. They're all they use these people to spread their filthy fascist agenda. And I mean, just her sitting there. Let's hear this again.
How do you respond to the charge you want to replace history with lies?
Well, let me first make an observation that helps us think through this. We know the Vice President well. And we know that when she speaks spontaneously, she has an unavoidable cackle. But when she's speaking from a script, she's very grave and very serious. So we know she's following a script here.
So what?
And the script is that she has to reject what is common sense in the name of an ideological agenda.
Really? The ideological agenda of reality? Of the fact that, no, I'm sorry, slavery was not a net positive. It might have been it was a net positive for the enslaver, but not the enslaved. So, but, don't you have any dignity? But of course not. And how dare you? And the fact that she just sits there and laughs along. She has an unmistakable cackle. Of course, all women do. Don't they? When they don't know their place. And no one doesn't know their place more than a vice president. A female vice president. What a cackle. See, I have my bullshit curriculum that says African Americans benefited from slavery, and she's got a cackle. I rest my case, Your Honor. You see, I can't take it. I can't take these people. Right, exactly. Pookie's mommy on the chat. They have nerve talking about following a script. Of course, they're so full of shit. You remember how they used to be very triggered by teleprompters? Anybody read off a teleprompter that was somehow saying how you weren't I guess authentic. That was what they were talking about Obama, right? He read off a teleprompter. Who fucking does it? They all read off teleprompters. Especially, nobody reads off a teleprompter more than goddamn Sean Hannity. They're disgusting. But then, where's the teleprompter now? Everybody's upset. I mean, nobody talks about teleprompter anymore being the mark of inauthenticity. That's another one that fell by the wayside. I totally forgot about that one. We all have to endure their manias, and then it changes. Just like we talked about how to endure them screaming about death panels. Well, I forgot all about that. I gotta write that down. I'm trying to keep a list of things. Let me see. Where should I put this? Of things that Republicans, force us to endure, and then they They just drop. And then everybody moves on, and no one ever goes back and talks to them and says, yeah, what happened to your outrage about the death panels that didn't exist? Are you going to now apologize to us? Right. Yeah. Bring back cue cards, because they're so, they want to live in the past. Why don't you just bring back, just keep the cue cards. No one will ever change. No teleprompters. Republicans, let's see. Railing against teleprompters. Just writing it down. Yeah, teleprompter. And then there were articles about it. I remember this. Let me look this up. Because this is no wonder I forgot. Because all of these things, they're so tedious. And Obama, Republicans mock Obama's teleprompter use. Jesus Christ. Teleprompter Trump. Then they stopped talking about it. Yeah, so this is from 2011. It's one of the very symbols of the presidency, the ultimate accessory to the ultimate bully pulpit, seemingly trumpeting to all that the words being uttered actually matter. So why on the campaign trail has the teleprompter become a symbol of mockery? Repeatedly by Republican candidates, picking up on a theme that's been rippling through the GOP for 2 years. Republican presidential candidates are trying to use President Obama's reliance on teleprompters to deflate his strength, one of his biggest strengths, his oratorical skill. If Obama can't give a 2-minute speech without a screen telling him what to say, it's a sign he doesn't know what he's doing. Obama ruined the teleprompter for the rest of us politicians, said the media strategist who advised John McCain. Did he ruin it? No, it was you who ruined it, Republicans. If you use it now, you're like Obama. It's a negative sign of his inauthenticity. It's a sign you can't speak on your own 2 feet, that you have handlers telling you what to say. And now, anybody talk about a teleprompter? How horrible it is? Of course not. Incredible. Michelle Bachmann, remember that dumb bitch, says she will never use a teleprompter and often proclaims that if she makes it to the White House, she will ban them. You see what we have to deal with in this country, JD? Do you see this? All this nonsense. These filthy fascists. Who votes for these fucking people? These fucking clown show. Businessman Herman Cain, who's dead thanks to the Republicans. Okay, that's very serious. He joined the Republican Party and all he got was dead prematurely. We're all going to die, of course, but it wasn't his time. He wouldn't have died if it wasn't for the right-wingers telling him not to do anything about COVID, not to take precautions, as he sat there maskless in an auditorium and said, "Look at me, I don't need a mask," with all these filthy, infested maggots breathing on him, and then he was dead. I won't let COVID get me down, and then it's not gonna freedom. Well, he's free now. He's got nothing to worry about now. The businessman called Herman Cain, who's now dead thanks to his own stupid party, joked last week that he threw the teleprompter off his campaign bus to get rid of the dead weight. And when Mitt Romney wrapped up a town hall meeting in Florida, a woman approached him and observed, "You did all this without a teleprompter. Good job. You stupid bitch. You dumb bitch. How you teleprompter now?" She's probably dead from COVID too. Oh, she's sitting in a retirement home with Socialist Security saying, "Those fucking Democrats. Woke Democrat." Now she's complaining about woke. You didn't see the teleprompter? It's in my watch, actually. I just looked down. That was a joke. But Romney and the other candidates do still roll out the teleprompters on occasion. This is an article in the Washington Post. You see how much Republicans waste our time? Always. They got nothing to offer. Another waste of space in the Washington Post, who's the author of this article back in the day. They could have been writing about something that maybe we really needed to know. Except this person was tasked with writing about the latest Republican bullshit that we all have to be dragged into. What if the Republicans spread bullshit and nobody had to write about it? Right? Wouldn't it just be better if they kept to them, just circle jerk their bullshit, screaming at each other? No, but everybody's got to fucking write about it. We all have to. What are they saying now? What are they doing now? What bullshit is it now that we all have to go be dragged through, and which will be completely disregarded once it's no longer needed? Sort of like, I guess, the people in the concentration camps. As long as you're useful. As long as the bullshit is useful. Thank you, Roy, for your super chat. Very much appreciated with your cute little emoji. Let's see. When Obama launched his campaign in 2007, we're talking, he used teleprompters. He addressed his audience. He frequently addressed them off the cuff, but always delivered big speeches from teleprompters, at the time making him appear more presidential. But now, Obama's speech-making is constant fodder for conservative news outlets. On Tuesday, after some, well, it could be Tuesdays, I'm sure it was. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was every day. After someone took a truck in Virginia containing some of the most symbolic objects of his presidency, including a lectern and seal, it was the teleprompter that the conservative website Drudge zeroed in on. Speechless. Obama's teleprompter stolen. No matter. The president had another one up and running for his stops in North Carolina and Virginia. Almost every time the president delivers a speech, no matter how mundane or brief, he reads from a teleprompter. 2 of them, actually. President Bush used teleprompters, said Ari Fleischer. There are clear benefits to teleprompters. Jesus Christ. Can you believe where the fuck we live with this shit? At the 2010 Conservative Political Action Conference, Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty ripped into Obama. saying his promise of the next era of hope and change has become the era of hope, change, and teleprompters. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Can I get the fuck out of JD? Where are you? Give me your address. I gotta get the fuck out of here. You got a couch that fits me and 4 cats? It's incredible. And this is just an example of yet another thing that we've had to endure coming from the right. That means nothing, and then it just goes away. It's all a distraction. They have nothing. Am I wrong? No. Jesus Christ. I mean, really. Because we can't talk about actual issues. Well, they can't. Because they got nothing. What are they going to talk about? Well, they're going to talk about woke now. They're going to talk about trans. They're going to talk about people who, minorities. The minority group du jour to hate. Thank you, Matt, for your super chat. Circle jerk, their BS, my favorite quote of the day. Yes, that's what that is. That's all it is. That's what they do. Oh, in fact, this is a good way to get into the next. Well, I was going to talk about. We did. Well, talk about the slavery thing, which is ridiculous. But, here's another thing. Well, this will probably be the last thing we'll talk about. Because I got to get unconscious to, in my dreams, there are no Republicans, so I can fly, I can run, I can fly. I want to get unconscious. So, where is this son of a bitch? So I'm sure you saw that. This is how disgusting Republicans are. Of course, the chickens are coming home to roost for... Oh, well, I got a couple of things. Oh, thank you, Jeffrey Giraffe, for your super chat, which you reminded me I wanted to talk about. Well, let's talk about this. Well, there'll be 2 things we'll talk about. And then we'll still have our show tomorrow, of course. Or maybe this will be the last. Because we were talking... Because earlier in the day... Jeffrey's handler, Joey Bay, who, let me see, let me get the text, texted me about the poor Mitch McConnell. Oh, thank you, Robin, for your super chat. The super chats are looking pretty colorful tonight. I really appreciate that. You live in a small apartment. We're going to have to find a new apartment, JD, for all of us. The UK is going to be chapped too, really? Maybe we can go to Ireland, where my ancestors are from. And we can all just stare out at a cliff. Something like that. I gotta get out of here. Fuck that. My grandma, I can't. God damn you, Grandma. Why did you have to come here? I gotta sound like this? I could sound like JD. Gotta sound like this fucking thing? Oh, so we were talking about Mitch McConnell, who had a brain fart, and he probably had a stroke. That's probably what happened. Not that I'm a doctor. Let's see. And it really irritated me. Not that he had this episode, but his response to it. Let's play it. Where is it? I have it. I just can't find my eCam.
This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
sad, really. feel kind of bad for him, but he is a fascist who, well, he's the gravedigger of American democracy.
Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to you?
And that's this, this other Republican. He's a doctor. Is that Roy Blunt? Anyway, he goes over to Mitch McConnell. Of course, Mitch McConnell's in the middle of some kind of episode. And, it's very disingenuous. But I suppose that's who they are. This is the Republican Party. And is that him? Is that who it is? Somebody can tell me, doctor. Is he a doctor? No, I don't know if that's the right guy. You got somebody on the chat will tell me. Who? It doesn't matter. One of these right winger. He's a doctor. I can't remember his name. It's escaping me. And he goes over to Mitch and says, "Anything else you want to say?" So clearly, Mitch is having an episode. He stood there silent. In the middle of a sentence, he stood there and went quiet for like 20 seconds. And of course, because it's all a show, and instead of saying, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Anything else you want to..." Let's pretend that the audience isn't seeing what they're seeing. Let's pretend you're not having a stroke right now. Because what's more important than your health, or the health of anyone for that matter, is Republican power. And it doesn't look good if you're having a stroke. So we're just going to say, anything else you want to say, buddy? This is who they are. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Wouldn't it be better if they're just like, "Are you okay? Can we help you?" No, let's keep the fucking facade up. Let's keep the sham going and take him back to his office.
Wait a minute. Are you good? Mitch?
Okay, Mitch.
He's chatting.
Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
And he's like,
You saw Senator John Barrasso there, who was a medical doctor, escorting Senator McConnell away from the podium. But moments later, he did return. He was back at the mic, shrugging off any concerns, saying he's fine. Later, when he was leaving later in the day, McConnell reassured reporters about his health.
Well, the president called to check on me. I told him I got sandbagged.
See, because Joe Biden tripped over a sandbag, and, there you go. There's your party of personal responsibility, taking no responsibility for themselves. They're just, let's use this as an opportunity to remind everybody that, Joe Biden tripped over a sandbag. Well, tripping over a sandbag isn't the same as having a brain aneurysm. I'm sorry. The sandbag is in your mind. It's in your brain. You tripped over your brain, buddy. That's a bit more concerning. Of course, an 80-year-old falling is not good. But he didn't, trip because his fucking brain went busted. He fell. He tripped. Because there was a friggin' sandbag there and he didn't see it. And then they went back to his office and they were like, "Oh, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got to come up with a very good way to put this on the Democrat Party. We got to remind the Americans about the Democrat Party instead of us being the ones that just had a brain fart." So, tell him you got sandbagged. Because he fell over a sandbag, and let's remind everybody. And the Republicans, they love that. They love laughing at the President of the United States. Because they hate America, you understand? Especially when the president's overseas, they love going over there and saying how strong Putin is and everything. So let's remind them, let's remind the traitors that, we hate him too. We hate our president too, because we're traitors too.
Oh, nice. How are you feeling now, sir? How are you feeling now?
I'm fine.
Have you seen a doctor? Are you going to
Any idea what happened?
Huh?
Any idea what happened?
I'm fine. That's the
Dehydrated?
Gotta watch those sandbags.
Say it again. Say sandbag again. I got to get over here away from the sandbags. How you feeling, Mr. McConnell? Oh, I don't watch out for the sandbags coming at you. Beware of the blob and the sandbags coming out of your brain. The sandbags are in your brain. Thank you, Joey. That's bare asshole, he says. Not Barasso. That's true. I forgot. Forget about the sandbag. We got sandbags coming out of your mind. Just like, you got no morals. You got no brain either, I guess. It's just so irritating, Never missing an opportunity. What is so wrong with just saying, yeah, I don't know what happened. That was a little bit concerning. I don't feel well. I'm going home. Yeah. No. Talk about a sandbag. It's like they never miss the opportunity to, put it on a Democrat somehow. Exactly, Terry. It does make me wonder if that sandbag was planted. It does make me wonder too. You had but Mitch, Moscow Mitch, you had a goddamn stroke. Because your brain is shit, just like your soul, like your morals. You're the grave digger of American democracy. That's what World War II historian, now his name is escaping me. Let me look it up. Grave digger of American democracy. Is that Boudica I hear over there? Christopher Browning, yes. Gravedigger of America. He is World War II historian, calls Mitch McConnell the gravedigger of American democracy. Yeah. And he is. Guess what? Get over here. Oh, she fucking escaped my clutches just now. Come here, Booty. Booty. Oh, she knows. She's catching on. She's catching on to my wily ways of wanting to pet her. That's her job, though. That is her job. Okay, last thing we'll do tonight. I just want to, the show's already 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. That's okay. This will be the last thing. So we know that the Republicans are finally, there's all these indictments coming down, and Jack Smith is not kidding around. Like, we had to sit on our asses and wait for Merrick the Meek to do absolutely nothing. Do you realize that it's been over a year since the January 6th committee recommended criminal charges for these freaks? And you know what happened? And we were all sitting around thinking that Merrick the Meek was doing something. He was investigating. But guess what? We know now that Merrick the Meek was doing nothing. He was doing nothing. He's meek. And he didn't want to charge the traitors because he thought it would be bad for democracy. You know what's bad for democracy? Not holding traitors accountable. That's what's bad. Oh, it's going to tear the country apart. You know what tears the country apart? Not holding traitors accountable. That's what. Oh, they're going to be upset. So what? The traitors are going to be upset? Let them. Let them be upset. So what? They're going to be upset anyway. All the more reason to hold traitors accountable. And you don't hold these traitors accountable, you are guaranteeing the overthrow of democracy. You're encouraging it. You're, in fact, enabling it, Merrick the Meek. But, okay, it took them a long time to put Jack Smith in charge. I mean, a little too long. Because, in my opinion, Trump should already be in jail for his inciting an insurrection. I mean, look at what's happening in Brazil. They did the same thing. Bolsonaro did the same thing in Brazil. And he's barred from running for office for, a period of time, years, which is what should happen here. I mean, we do have in our Constitution where it says you can't be a traitor and run for office, because we had a bunch of traitors. It's always the conservatives. Always. When you look throughout history, it's always the conservatives who are the traitors, who hate democracy. It's true. Look at World War II. All of the Nazis, the collaborators who helped overthrow their own democratically elected governments. It wasn't just in Nazi Germany. It was in all the occupied territories. They found common cause with conservatives. And that's who the Vichy governments were in France. They were the conservatives. And in Norway, they were the conservatives that imprisoned their own countrymen. That it was the resistance were the progressives, were the pro-democratic forces. But, okay, here in America, we got a bunch of traitors. Anyway, it's little by little, chickens are coming home to roost, and I'm sure you saw Giuliani admits to spewing lies about Georgia election workers. It came out that he targeted them as a part of a larger scheme to overthrow the presidential election, and it goes to show you who conservatives are. This is what they do. It's like what they're doing right now, like to Roy Epps, this dumb bastard who participated in January 6th. They're making him out to be like he's the instigator. He's the deep state that encouraged this whole bunch of traitors to storm the Capitol. And as if, they had no will of their own. They're just like, Roy Epps told us, and that was it. And they lie about him, but he's just a common dullard, a stupid dupe. But it doesn't matter. You get in the way. Whether you're on the side of the fascists or not, you will be a useless idiot. And they went after these election workers powerless. This is what they do. You see, they never go after the politically connected and powerful. They go after the politically unconnected and vulnerable. That's who they are. They're cowards through and through. That's who Trump is. Coward. A effing coward to the bone. So, Giuliani here's what he said about Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, who are mother and daughter, and they were doing their patriotic duty, helping facilitate an election in the middle of a pandemic. These are patriots, heroes. They are good citizens, unlike the Republican Party.
Ruby Freeman and Shay Freeman Moss and one other gentleman quite obviously surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine.
One of the videos we just watched, Mr. Giuliani accused you and your mother of passing some sort of USB drive to each other. What was your mom actually handing you on that video?
A ginger mint.
18,000 voters, having to do with Ruby Freeman. She's a vote scammer, a professional vote scammer and hustler.
There is nowhere I feel safe.
Isn't that incredible?
Nowhere. Do you know how it feels to have the President of the United States to target you? The President of the United States is supposed to represent every American, not to target one.
That's right.
But he targeted me, Lady Ruby.
He's a coward.
A small business owner, a mother, a proud American citizen who stand up to help Fulton County run an election in the middle of the pandemic.
A lot of threats, wishing death upon me, telling me that, I'll be in jail with my mother, and saying things like, be glad it's 2020 and not 1920.
Wow. Were a lot of these threats and vile comments racist in nature?
A lot of them were racist. A lot of them were just hateful.
Well, what a surprise. Anyway, so the point is Giuliani admitted, because, he's over a barrel now, and his lies are coming home to roost. He's about to lose his law license for good. And he, of course, his claims targeting these two women have been widely and repeatedly disproven by both state and federal investigators, talking about, everything. He's about ballots being mishandled or sabotaged. These are the things that he said. That Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss were these two operatives in the deep state that worked to overthrow the election for poor, put upon Donald Jesus Trump, who's just trying to save America from black people like them having any power to vote in a democracy. I mean, that's really what he's doing. So the rich can get richer and the working class can become the more malleable working poor. And, we can make America great again by bringing back child labor. So, okay, so in a Tuesday night court filing in the defamation case, Giuliani conceded that his claims were false, although he worded his admission in a way to meet the barest minimum level of accountability. And it said, defendant Giuliani made the statements of and concerning plaintiffs, and he does not dispute for the purpose of this litigation that the statements carrying meaning that is defamatory. Defendant Giuliani, for the purpose of this litigation only, does not contest that to the extent the statements were made of fact and otherwise actionable, such actionable factual statements were false. Because he's being sued. All right? Anyway, now, this is not, of course, we know that he's a dirtbag now, but there's a whole media apparatus around these dirtbags that are propping them up. And they will not let go of their lies unless, they will never let go of their lies. It will happen. What will happen is what I keep saying will happen. One day in the not too distant future, those who supported Trump will only speak of it in shamed whispers. There is no doubt. You can take that to the bank. Unlike Trump's laundry list of failed businesses and scams, you can take that to the bank. That is for sure. And there will still be, just like the good Germans after World War II, the so-called good Germans, there will still be some true believers But for many, the scales are disappearing from their eyes, or whatever they do, falling from their eyes. And in fact, actually, just an aside, I have to say, I saw a tweet on the stupid Elon Musk failed platform, which shows you that, is what Elon Musk shows us is that he's not a genius. We know that. We've done stories about it. And also, everything that conservatives touch, they destroy. Okay. But I saw a tweet, what did they say? In 2016, Trump, I'm just trying to remember by memory. This person wrote, in 2016, Trump was the better choice. In 2020, he was the only choice. And now he's no choice at all, or something like that. And his tweet was trying to, I guess, say that he he can't vote for this effing, for this con man. And I was like, what do you want a medal? You want us to be like, congratulations? Or something like that, because anybody, who thinks that Trump was the better choice, somebody who came down an escalator calling a minority group rapists, you thought that was the better choice, shame on you. You're not getting any medals for finally seeing the light. Just like none of the damn good Germans, so-called, were congratulated for finally seeing what they had done, what they unleashed on Europe and the world. I mean, come on. Oh, yeah. Congratulations for seeing what the rest of us saw. For seeing what, anybody who had a mind, eyes, a soul, any shred of humanity, of decency, of dignity. We all saw it. We didn't need, how many years? You needed all these years to wake up? That's how many years you needed to see the abomination in action. Okay, whatever. But here's this conservative. There's a conservative commentator, a podcaster, whatever. I never heard of him, but he's just one of them. Conservative cries bitter tears after Trump allies admit election lies. He says, it was all BS. His name is Steve Deese. Conservative broadcaster Steve Deese complained bitterly that Donald Trump's allies admitted to lies about the election that he helped spread. The lies he helped spread. The Blaze TV host initially opposed Trump in 2016, then claimed to leave the Republican Party after his first choice, Ted Cruz, which says all you need to know about this person. He's not that swift. And Ted Cruz called for unity, and he finally came back, and he was all into the Stop the Steal and spreading the lies, and he was bigly mad about how, where is it? Stevie Ducey. He was very upset. Hold on a second. Give me a minute. Where is this article? He says, how many people... Wait. Because he's admitted he lied. The Blaze TV host initially opposed... Yes, I read that. We are going to the mattresses for these people. We are offering them more accommodation, more chances than we'd offer our own family members, for goodness sakes. Wait, hold on. Let's let him talk. Let's hear it from the horse's ass, as they say.
We are going to the mattresses for these people. We are offering them more accommodation, more chances than we'd offer our own family members, for goodness sakes. And for what? To have Rudy Giuliani.
I hit the wrong button. Wait a second.
We are offering them more accommodation, more chances than we'd offer our own family members, for goodness sakes. And for what? To have Rudy Giuliani go down to Georgia and admit that he lied? Yeah. Have Jason Miller tell the January 6th Commission, yeah, we all knew it was BS.
About time.
What is this?
It's called truth hitting you in the face, Steve. And you're a dupe. You're like Tokyo Rose. Or the latest update of Tokyo Rose. You're like Tokyo Rose. You're a fascist propagandist who hates this country. And really, I hope that you do see the light. You should be ashamed of yourself for the lies you spread that do nothing but pour bullshit into the ears of the easily led and make it difficult to maintain a functioning democracy in this country. Simply, if you can't handle democracy, go away. Get the F out. There are plenty of authoritarian shitholes for you to move to. Move to Russia. That's the kind of country you like. Move there. You don't get to turn this country into an authoritarian shithole. Because you don't like it? Because you don't like trans people? You don't like black people? You don't like reality? You can't handle diversity? Well, then get the fuck out. That's not this country. I'm very sorry. You were born here. You can move. You don't get to turn this country into your shithole with this giant asshole who didn't win as your dim leader. Go to North Korea. Go. I know Trump loves it there. Everybody stands up at attention. That's what he wants you to do. And you do it without question because you're a traitor. You just can't help it. You do have a couple of options, right? You can get the F out, or you can get the help you need. But being a traitor is a sad way to go through life. Because it's not like you're a traitor to fascism. You're a traitor to democracy, which makes you the bad guy. It makes you somebody that is not going to come out looking good in the light of history. You're not on the right side of history. You're not on the right side of humanity. You're a dupe. You're a useless idiot.
Some of you don't like it when I use the cult word, but when you like being treated like a schmuck and ask for more, that is a cult. I'm the mark. I'm the sucker. I want to be such. And I resent the person who tries to get me out of that. Those are marks of groupthink, frankly. How many people in this audience sent money to stop the steal 3 years ago?
Yeah, you're suckers. Suckers.
How many shows did I waste your time talking about this 3 years ago?
You're a sucker. Come on. Just because you want to believe it, just because you can't function knowing that There are more normal people than there are filthy fascist racists that can't handle democracy. It must be very terrifying to you. But that doesn't mean you get to overthrow the country with your filthy lies. But I'm glad to see that this guy is recognizing he's a dumbass. Will he stop being a dumbass? Will he stop spreading the lies? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Because Trump is still out there saying that, oh, they stole it. They stole it. So, Occam's razor, this shit. A con man, a lifelong con man with serial bankruptcies. Tax cheating dirtbag. Who never did a damn thing for anybody in his life but himself. Who outright said he would only accept the results of an election if he won. That's what's the chances of him actually accepting what are the chances of him of the fact I feel like I'm Mitch McConnell now. I can't get the goddamn sentence out. But that he won the election and we stole it from him. This poor, put upon, serial bankrupt, tax cheating, draft dodging, dictator envying con man with the fake university and the fake vitamin scam and all the serial, the history of sexual assault and the fraudster, the fabulous, the entire life, the guy who portrayed himself as his own goddamn publicity agent, John Barron. What are the odds of that guy legitimately having an election stolen from him? Or he's lying to you. The one who said Trump steaks are delicious when they were, anyone who ever tried them got the shits. And that's on the review site. Those poor cows, It's just the indignity of being turned into a Trump steak. The one who cheated on his third trophy wife while she was home recovering from childbirth with a porn star, paid off the porn star for silence, and then continues to lie about it. That guy. What are the odds? That we stole it from him? Although over 60 court cases, threw them out of court with prejudice because there's no effing evidence. But yes, but you still believe it because you think. You just don't, you can't handle it. You can't handle democracy. Go build coalitions, knock on doors, get people to vote for your filthy fascist agenda. But you can't. It's too much work. It's so much easier to steal it. These people hate work. They like to say that they want to teach everybody the dignity of work. They hate work. That's why they need shortcuts. They need to cheat. Yes, I see. Looks like he likes the mic. It really does. Looks like he's eating the mic.
Betty.
He's going on.
I still have not recovered between the election fraud and COVID.
The election fraud.
I probably have the smallest Facebook following of any major show in this entire industry.
I thought he was going to say the smallest something else, but this. Wait. He hasn't recovered from the election fraud that isn't fraud?
I will routinely post things on Facebook, get like 2 or 3 comments.
Because you suck.
It's like Facebook is like, we won't ban you because then you'll whine about it and generate a bunch of publicity.
Sure, you're still
we'll
whining
just make
about
it that no one sees your material at all.
Right.
Why? Because I went to the mattresses on COVID and the election fraud issue.
You're spreading
only to have Rudy
bullshit.
Giuliani say, "Yeah, I was lying," and Jason Miller say, "Oh, we knew it was all BS."
Well, we all did. We knew. Normal people knew. So yeah, good. Welcome to the party, pal. But look in the mirror. What are you doing with the show? You suck. You're spreading lies. Shame on you. Get your ass to a shrink. And get to the bottom of it. You know, do those searching and fearless moral inventory of why you're such a useless idiot. Why are you so easily manipulated? And I bet you I can get to the bottom of it. I'm very good at getting to the bottom of psychological issues with people. You're a racist. You got issues, buddy, with race. You don't like diversity. This is really what it comes down to with these people. They have been told a lot of bullshit about people with different, pigment. And they're very upset. They don't like diversity.
All the best people, Steve.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess we can tune in to him tomorrow and see that nothing has changed. Because the stolen election bullshit sells. What is he going to talk about? The minute he starts talking about reality, his whatever audience he does have is going to flee. They're going to bombard him with bullshit about what a traitor he is. And that'll be the end of it. He won't have a show. So he'll continue to spread the lies. We should check in on him. And I'm sure, doesn't matter. You see, that it does not matter. They all know they're lying. Trump knows he's a liar. They all know it. But no one says it. Kevin McCarthy knows it. They all know it. Ted Cruz knows it. I don't know if Marjorie Perjury Trader Green knows it because she's a dumbass, but they do. They just like power more than they, love America. They hate America. But we will get into it more tomorrow night. Because... Where's Boudica? Booty! I don't know where she is. She's running free. Probably in slow motion somewhere. Booty! Alright, listen. Now, let's see. One day it will, like I said, they will only speak of their support in shamed whispers. It will happen. But I don't know. They're going to have to be crushed mercilessly, legally, and peacefully. And yeah, that day is not here yet. They will be crushed legally and peacefully. Because it's inevitable. They are unfit and they're on the wrong side of everything. So they will not win. It's true. Because we will win. We know this. Look at Junior. He's sleeping. We are on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. And we're not full of shit. We are trying to make the world a better place. And that's, not making it worse. Trying to make it a better place for all. So we will get together tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place, same bat time, same bat channel, same Boudica baby booty. And Ray and Francis Jr. Jr. and Tara Jr. Jr. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Thank you for your super chats and your amazing participation in the chat room. I can't do it without you. I love you. And thank you, Haiku, for being a moderator, always. Thank you, Jim, for being a moderator, always. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to... I will see you tomorrow, Winston. I see you. I will take attendance. I'm gonna take attendance. My name is Tara Devil. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I will see you all tomorrow night. I forgot to say. We stick together. We win. I'll see you.